I use 4 yards of a crepe fabric or a vintage to achieve this style. Let me know in the comment section how you call this type of material. Please drop a comment for me. I actually make this gown for my mom and she requested that the Basque effect should not be too much, okay? So I have to come up with something looking like this. It's actually very beautiful and she liked her dress. She loved the outcome, okay? Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. In case you come across me for the first time, my name is Grace. Do well to subscribe, turn on your notification bell so that YouTube can notify you each time I upload a new video. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. This is the material I will be using. It's actually 4 years, okay? Let me know the name in the comment section below. Actually, I'm coming down by 1 inch. This 1 inch I'm coming down is my starting line as well as a shoulder line, okay? From the shoulder line, I'm marking a bust point 11 inch and I connect it on a straight line. After that, I'm marking our waist measurement. Our waist is 70, so I mark those points and I connect it on a straight line. Please, sorry guys, I don't know where my long ruler is. I'm actually looking for it. So I have to manage this small one, okay? Moving on, assuming I'm making this dress for myself, I could have go down close to my hip point, but I'm actually going to mark our hip point, but I will not be using all the measurement. You are going to see that in the course of making this video, okay? If you really want the Basque effect to come out or to be close to the hip, you should take your hip measurement. After that, I level that the hip point, okay? The next measurement I'm going to be taking is the under bust measurement. From shoulder to our under bust is 14 inch. So I'm going to mark that point. And I will also connect it on a straight line. For the width of the neckline, I'm going to be using 3.5. And for the depth of the neckline, it's going to be a V neckline. One of the neckline will stop at the bust point, while for the front, it will get to the under bust measurement, okay? For now, I'm marking the depth of the neckline to be 3 inch. It's just as a guide, okay? That is not what we are going to be using. The next measurement I'm inputting is a shoulder. The next measurement I'm inputting is a shoulder measurement, okay? From that shoulder measurement, I'm going to mark 12 inch for the sleeve. I'm going to mark 12 inch. Like I said earlier, if you have a wider fabric and you are working with this measurement close to 40, 42 for the bust, you should opt for even 15 so that the gathers effect will show very well, okay? So I'm actually using 4 years. I have to manage it up. If not, I will not get what I want, okay? So I'm measuring what I have at that shoulder line and input it at this bust point, okay? 8 plus 12 inch, we should have something, we should have 20 inch. 8 for the shoulder and 12 inch for the sleeve is 20 inch. So I connect it, and this new line I'm connecting is my sleeve opening. The next thing I'm inputting is quarter of our under bust measurement, quarter of our waist measurement, quarter of our hip measurement. So I move on to add 1 inch for stitching allowance. You can decide to work with 1.5 inch or 2 inch, but I've chosen to work with 1 inch, okay? So to know the amount of, at this under bust measurement, there is a pleat at this under bust measurement. To know the amount of the pleat I will have, I'm minusing 3 inch from that measurement, that 20 inch point. So I mark at this under bust measurement, I mark 17 inch, okay? So I'm going to curve this 20 inch point to meet up with this 17 inch point, Okay, that is, I'm covering from the bust point to the under bust point. I hope that makes sense. So starting from this waist measurement, I come down by 4.5 inch. Okay, and from that 4.5 inch I go up again by 2.5 inch and I connect it in a curve like this. You can decide to connect it with a curve, and guys, if you are connecting it with a curve, take it close to the edge. Okay, take it close to the center of the front. I was somehow scared because I did not want the Basque effect to really reveal. So but at the end of this video, toward the end of this video, I readjust it because the Basque effect did not show at all. I have to adjust it. Okay, so what we have left here is 2 inch point. So I'm cutting it this way. Pay attention to the way I'm cutting it, guys. So after cutting it this way, I'm coming down by 1 inch. You know now our shoulder is not straight. You need to slope your shoulder if you want something nice. So I have to slope the shoulder by 1 inch. After that, I'm cutting it out. I like to keep separate scissors for the fabric and the part, yeah, and for the paper, so that I will keep everything sharp. Okay, so for the back neckline, I connect it to the bust point measurement, and for the front neckline I connect it down to the under bust measurement. I hope this makes sense. So after cutting this back neckline, I will use it and cut my front piece. After cutting this back neckline, I'm going to use it and cut my back piece before I trim it off and use it to cut my front piece. I hope that makes sense. Next thing I'm doing is to trim this my under bust to the waist measurement, and I label it piece 2 and piece 1. So my material are set. I'm going to use it. These are my front piece is 2 piece, and these are my back piece is also 2 piece. I also left about 1 inch at the top of it, which is the space for the drawstring. Okay, for this piece too, I at this back piece I keep 1 inch for the zip. Okay, and I add ½ inch at the top and ½ inch below for the stitching allowance. I also cut the same piece on my lining. For the front piece, I cut it on fold. Okay, I add ½ inch at the top and ½ inch below for stitching allowance. Also repeat the same process with your lining. Okay, so for the lower part, or for the piece 3, the length is 42 inch including the sewing allowance. For the piece 3 of our measurement, the length is 42 or 43 including the sewing allowance. And for the width of it, I'm going to have 2 times of our waist measurement plus 10 inch. That is what I have. 2 times of our waist measurement plus 10 inch, sorry. And I will advise you, if you have enough material, you should opt for 3 times of our waist measurement so that the gathers effect will show very well. Plus 10 inch, you should go for something like that. This is how I'm going to stitch it down. I'm going to place the right side facing each other like this and stitch it down by ½ inch. Then I will make sure that the seam allowance is toward the facing. Okay, the seam allowance is toward the facing. I'm going to top stitch on the facing so that everything will remain flat. I will also repeat the same process on my back piece. Then I will stop immediately at this zip allowance point. I will stop it there. After stitching, this is what we have. So I'm going to iron it now with the help of the hemming gum. I'm going to iron all my 4-piece flat. Okay, I'm going to iron it flat. I will do that off camera to save our time. And after that, guys, see what we have. The back is looking beautiful as well as the front. Just wait in a minute, you get to see the front piece. Okay, so this our front piece is looking beautiful. This is how it's going to be. One will overlap each other. So this is what we have. Moving on to the next step of it, I'm going to fold the sleeve side like this by half an inch and further fold it again by half an inch. And once that is done, look at what we have. It's looking very beautiful. Okay, so for the overlap, I'm going to be making it to be at least 3 inch. You can decide to make it 4 inch, but you have to measure it first to see how open your neckline will be, if you like the outcome, before you stitch it down. After which, just take it to the machine, stitch very close to the edge. Okay, and for the back piece, at the hem of it, I've run a loose stitch on it. I'm gathering it. Okay, at the hem of the back piece, so I'm making a gathers at the hem of it. I will also repeat the same process on my front piece. Just wait in a minute, you are going to see our front piece as well. Okay, so this is how you need to gather your piece, and make sure that whatever the gathers effect matches with this piece too. Let it align, let it be the same measurement. And once you get the same measurement, you are going to place it right side facing each other and stitch it down. In my own case, I get the exact measurement, but I will curve it in so that there will be no zipper bunch on it. So I'm going to place it like this, right side facing, and stitch it down by half an inch. All right, I'll stitch it down by half an inch. So after that is done, we are going to move on to the front piece. Okay, and this is the front piece. So what I did is I also run a loose stitch on it to the center. On the other side too, I run a loose stitch to the center. Okay, so everything is going to gather down. I take note of my midpoint for this front piece. Okay, so for this piece too, I'm also going to take note of my front piece. That is a simple trick. Okay, you take note of your center piece for both the top part and the lower part of it, which is what I'm doing right now. Okay, when I get the center point, I notch it. I'm also going to match the center point of this upper part to the middle part. To align, you can see me adjusting it. If there is any part that does not align, I adjust it before I sew it down. It's very important you do that so that everything will align. Guys, after sewing, look at what we have. It's looking very beautiful. The next thing is to repeat the same process on the lining. Make sure you notch your lining and you place it this way. You flip it, you put it right side. Right side of my lining is touching the wrong side of this upper part. Okay, I place it this way. I'm pinning it down because I will take it to my machine, stitch it following the direction of my pins. I'm going to stitch it down by half an inch. Okay, so after stitching, we are going to have something neat like this, very clean and very beautiful. All right, so I'm going to do that for both my front piece and my back piece. Okay, I will repeat the same process for the front and the back piece. Make sure that the lining that you are using for the back actually correspond. Okay, this one toward the shape that you have toward the lining should be the same that you have on your main piece. Make sure it correspond before you stitch it down. So after stitching it down, guys, look at what we have. It's looking beautiful right now. Guys, can you see the problem I have? This thing does not really align. That could be because of any little adjustment I make. So I need to adjust the sleeve area before I stitch it down by 1 inch. After stitching it down by 1 inch, I've go ahead and iron it flat. Look at what we have. It's looking very neat and very clean. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to fold in something less than half an inch. I'm going to fold it in like this and stitch it down. By so doing, I'm going to create a channel for this rope. And guys, for the rope, make sure that the rope that you have is longer than this the length of your sleeve. Place it and make sure that it's longer than the length of your sleeve. Okay, there is no standard measurement for the rope. Just make sure that the rope you have is longer than your sleeve, so that it will not lose inside even when you you remove the gathers effects. Okay, so I have 4 pieces of the rope. I'm going to insert my rope like this, and make sure that at this your rope, the part that will be facing outside is completely closed. Okay, it's neat. Okay, I'm going to insert all my rope and pin it down. Okay, after inserting all my ropes, you see this part that is rough or is outside the shoulder, we are going to push it inside the channel. You are going to push it inside, bend it inside the channel and top stitch on it. When you top stitch on it, you are going to have something ruch like this, something drawing like this, and that is the style we are going for. So the next thing, you can see that I've stitched down my lining and my main piece as one piece. Okay, so I will be shaping the side by 1 inch. I will be shaping the side by 1 inch. It's very simple. This dress is very simple to make. So I've stitched it down by 1 inch. Okay, this is how it is after stitching down the side. After stitching down the side, we have something looking beautiful like this. So the next thing I will be doing now is to measure what I have at the hem of it. At the hem line, I'm measuring from one side to another. Whatever I have, I'm going to measure my gathers part to make sure that we have at least 2 times of that measurement. Okay, like I said earlier, guys, in my own case, or in our own case, I have 2 times of that measurement plus 10 inches extra. So I will be folding the hem of this gown like this, and also further fold it by half an inch. For the upper part, that which I will be attaching it to the blouse to make a dress, I'm folding it like this into two to find the midpoint. Once I get to the midpoint, I'm going to notch it. Either you notch it or you mark it out. So from there, I'm stepping down by 1.5 inch, and I connect it like this, and I'm cutting it out. So you go ahead and notch it. Take note of the center piece. Okay, this center piece, the center will be the part that will be the center of our dress. That is the center of the up touching the center of the down. I hope that makes sense. So I've also go ahead and run a loose stitch on it, which I'm gathering in right now. And I'm going to make sure I gather up to the exact measurement that we measure the top part of it. What we have at the top, we are going to gather this scale to fit on the top part of it. Okay, before we stitch it down. So you can see me measuring it to see that we have the exact measurement for both the upper part and the lower part. Okay. If there is any part that need adjustment, I'm going to make it now before I stitch it down. So once we are done with that, I keep measuring to see that it is the exact waist measurement. Okay. I also measure the side seam to be sure that it's the same. Okay. So go ahead and measure your side seam to the center and also measure it to be sure that it's the same. This is how I'm going to be stitching it down. I'm going to match up the center piece for both the top part and the lower part, after which I stitch it down. So after stitching, I'm going to flip it like this. Our waist is touching the right side, so I pin that joining allowance. It's important you pin it down. So starting from the waist, you can come down by 4 to 5 inch or 6 inch. That should be the length of your where your zip will stop. For this top upper part of it, guys, I told you that I later adjust it, so I have to adjust it like this, fold it into two, trim it off, connect it like a kind of pencil part of it. You connect it that way and you trim it off. After trimming it, you join back your dress. You join back the top part of it so that it's to show these past effects as you have seen on this video. It is very, very important you do that. Thank you so much for watching till the very end. And if you have learned something in this video, don't leave without liking this video. Click the like button, subscribe and share my video so that more people can get to see it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, okay? If you have learned one thing or the other. See you all in my next video. Bye.